Hi, it's David C. Jones. Before the curtain goes up, and a whole bunch of little curtains are going to go up because there's the Ore Festival. It is back. It is going to be happening at the Jericho Art Center, and there are a bunch of little 10-minute plays, little in length, but big in substance. Let's meet some of the people who are involved in this year's Ore Festival. Let's start with Landon. How are you involved in the festival this year?
So this year's Ore Festival, I actually did an application for a deaf artist. I did send in some material, and it is a deaf-led project and supporting deaf performers, deaf directors, deaf actors, and my own work as a deaf writer. There's not very many opportunities within Vancouver, but then I did see the Ore Festival, and then I sent in an application and was picked to join this festival, which has been a great honor.
Fantastic. Kenneth, what's your involvement? And have you ever been involved before?
No, I have not been involved with the Ore Festival before. But my involvement this time around is I'm a writer. I'm also performing in a different piece called The Grind, but I'm representing here my work, which I call Chipao, which is a story of a young mixed Asian woman struggling with their identity as they're confronted by their more fully realized Asian self as a reflection.
Fantastic. And Timbele, how are you involved?
Yes, I'm quite excited to be in the O Festival. I'm involved here as a dramaturged/director. So it's been quite a journey for me in a new land. Like I'm a landed immigrant who came in last year, and to work in this quite refreshing festival really means something to me. So I'm enjoying the whole process of working in this play by Gisela Miller, The Spirit Has Teeth.
Nice. Now, do you all have to find your own places to rehearse your pieces, or does because there's so many pieces, do you have to figure out your own rehearsal space?
As for me, the All Festival is taking care of that. So they book the spaces for us to rehearse. So yeah, that's the process for me.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Landon, why did you create the performance, and what appeals to you about directing this visual vernacular piece?
The visual vernacular has actually been around for many, many years. It has quite a lengthy history. And the name of VV, or visual vernacular, is about mime actors that were learning mime in France and how deaf culture mixes with mime. And I noticed that children experience the world through sign language, through visual arts, through movies, and how our hands move. We can create things like a car, is what I'm showing here, skidding, speeding, going over bumps. That's a very visual story. There's many different aspects to be able to play with that you can personify in your body. So I flew to Sweden, where they do have professional deaf theater, and there are experts within that field. And I am also training in California. There is actually no VV here, so I am trying to develop that more and expand that knowledge, and having more deaf creatives have that opportunity to practice VV or to learn about that art form.
Fantastic. Kenneth, what's your piece about, the one that you wrote? I have a follow-up question. I have a follow-up question after that, but tell me about
Totally.
the piece.
Yeah, so as I previously indicated, it's a piece about a young mixed Asian girl, and she's getting ready for Chinese school, or her Chinese school graduation. And so she buys a qipao to, feel closer to her culture. But she's then like verbally assaulted by a more Asian representation of herself. So because she's mixed, the other version of herself is full Chinese and is trying to protect the culture itself, and also semi-shaming her for trying to be closer to herself. Because it's from my own experience, which I feel like there have been a lot of times, like especially with the internet, just seeing stories about people trying to celebrate culture and then are immediately, shamed for it, or even told that, how dare you try to appropriate it, even though I am participating in my own culture, there is still a fear that I will have that judgment.
Right, right. Yeah, we certainly seem to be in a culture lately of very quick judgment. I blame Facebook because Facebook always goes, "What's on your mind?" And so now we assume that what's on our mind is the most important thing. Um, my follow-up question with you, because yes, you did explain, thank you for going a little bit more in depth to the show, are you able to be in the rehearsal room as a writer when you are busy rehearsing another play somewhere else? Or are you anxious, like, my words, my words?
I absolutely am anxious. I've been telling a lot of my friends and even my partner just how concerned I am, because there's a level of control that I don't have anymore. And it's nerve-wracking because I want my work obviously to shine, and I trust the people in the process. But even in that process, I've only been to one rehearsal for my piece, and in the rest of the time, I'm just kind of going like, well, if I can let it go, the more I let it go, the more I will be happy with it, just because then I'm not expecting anything. And in that respect, I can just enjoy it for what it is. And if it goes further, then people can, transform it themselves. But at that point, I I have to learn to let it go and just do my own thing.
Nice. Tembele, did you pick the piece, or was the piece assigned to you?
No, I picked the piece. We're given all the pieces, right? So we had to. You selected something that resonated with you. So for me, the spirit his teeth was like, oh, I'm home. This is home, and it felt like closer to me. So yeah, and I picked that.
That you
Although
could,
most of the pieces were beautifully written, but yeah.
so you didn't have to arm wrestle with someone. There was no fighting over the pieces or anything.
I'm not sure you were asked to pick about three pieces that you really love. So this one came at the top. So automatically I was given that one to direct. So yeah.
Nice. Uh,
Mhm.
Landon, if we were going to go to the festival, are we going to see all of the pieces each night, or do you alternate on different nights? We're seeing all of them?
There's just a bit of a lag. So as far as I'm concerned, it's one day that there'll be an interpreted show. My performance of that story is every night. So the goal of VV is to have that impact of both the hearing and deaf audience. And that both would enjoy the performance. You don't need an interpreter to understand the story that I've created.
Fantastic. Well, this sounds like an amazing festival. I'm going to let you all. We'll start with you, Kenneth, and we'll go to Timbelese, and then we'll end with Landon. Your job is to look at the camera and to convince the people that they should make sure they go and see the OR Festival. So you have to like sell it to them, okay? We'll see who does the better job. Okay, Kenneth, you're up first. Look at that camera and tell them to go.
You should come see the OR Festival simply because there's going to be so many different stories that are just going to be blowing you away.
Nice.
You should attend the festival. It's going to blow your mind. I'm telling you, come to the festival.
Okay, Landon, you're the last one. You're not allowed to use the word blow. Because is, was that your interpretation as to why they should go? Why should people go?
With an interpreter? Okay, hold on one second. I think this is the first step of a bigger picture of what is possible in the future for deaf arts.
So we should definitely go to the OR Festival. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day for meeting with me, and I look forward to the festival. Have a great, great day.